It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Everybody.
How are you guys doing?
Just lovely.
Yeah, I could tell. Hope everybody's doing okay out there. So what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Oh, man. I don't have a whole lot. Although I did. Now, we've been talking about like Cartoon Network shutting down a lot of their cartoon channels and that kind of stuff. And I was like, it's really sad because this is where all the classics are being played and they've all but made it non-existent. Well, during that time, there was a rumble that MeTV was going to do a cartoon channel. And everybody was like, no, they're not going to do that. They would have announced it somewhere or, they would have said something, but they do it on Saturdays, which, I liked watching that on Saturdays because it's like Woody Woodpecker and the Hanna-Barbera Hour. I mean, it's like older cartoons. So the other night, I'm flipping through the channels, and what do you know? They have their own cartoon channel now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
24/7.
24/7, yes. See, on Saturdays, it's only maybe like, I think it's either a 2 or a 4 hour block. I can't remember. But it was like, damn, this is all day. And like I said, it's the classic ones. I like it. I think it comes on at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. It's called Wait Till Your Father Gets Home.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch that on Nick at Night. And then, of course, they kind of slowly vanished Nick at Night. And I couldn't, it was kind of one of those of, I think I remember watching that. So when you actually see it, it was like, yeah, it was a real cartoon. I remember this.
See, I had never heard of it until
Yeah,
I saw it on there. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I had to look it up because I had no idea what it was. Apparently, it was pretty racy shit for the 70s.
It was, yeah. Like I said, you could only watch it. Well, I don't know when it originally aired, but when I was a kid, you could only watch it at Nick at Night, and it was real late. Real late, so
Well, and
even
they're showing
then
it
it
kind
was
of late
kind
now,
of
too.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's like 10 o'clock.
I was watching.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just wondering, wasn't that TV show with William Wyndham? Didn't he do the voice of the father?
Now I'm gonna have to.
Well, while she's looking that up, the thing that sucks for me is, I've looked at the schedule, and guess what they're playing at 4:30 in the morning?
Johnny Quest.
Plastic Man.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be up that early to watch it, but there's no other time it's on, and no one else is showing it. God damn it.
Yep.
It
You
was
set
Tom.
your DVR.
It was Tom Bosley.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. But David Hayward is in it.
Who?
Did you say David Hayward?
No, you said William Wyndham.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, so it's like that's Tom Bosley. I should have known that. He's got that distinct voice. But I was watching a Woody Woodpecker cartoon. Now, I guess this is a little older than I remember because not once during the whole cartoon did he do his iconic laugh.
Yeah, that didn't come along until a little later.
So it was like, what the hell? And then at the end, the little theme song kind of did the da 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 da, and it's like, nah, that's a ripoff. I feel cheated. So yeah, I
Uh-huh.
was curious. I guess that did come later then, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't think they did that regularly until Grace Stafford took over the voice.
Ah,
And she did the voice for a long, long time, but there were several years there at the beginning where it sounded, or the Woody's voice sounded like a sped up version of a male voice
hmm.
until they got Grace Stafford to do it, because I guess they didn't have to worry about all the sound design stuff. She could just do it.
Didn't need the special effects.
Right. And it was cheaper and easier to do without the special effects, obviously. But
Well, now that you say that, he did sound different than
yeah,
what I remember him too.
yeah, because I've seen some of those, and yeah, it's a little jarring.
Yeah, it's a
It's just
lot
different
jarring.
enough. It's just different enough that you're like, that doesn't sound right at all. And they
Yeah.
seem to be the older one, so
Yeah,
they're going back
and
into
I
the
had to
50s.
check my channel to make sure, it wasn't some like rip-off channel or something.
Right. But yeah, no, they mix them up pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that's crazy. But like
So
I said, it is pretty cool because everything that they keep canning, I I guess I'm past the age group of what Adult Swim is now trying to capture. I remember when it first came out, if that should really tell you it's no longer meant for me.
Mm,
I
a little
re-
bit.
I remember when it first came out with like Robot Chicken and that kind of stuff, and I liked that.
Right. And
I
the trick is that was 30 years ago.
yeah. I think now I saw they're doing a special, I think it was 25 years ago. So it's like, oh my God,
Hmm.
I'm just I never really cared for anime, and that's pretty much what and I like stupid humor. I love a stupid dumb movie. I mean, I they were made for me. But some of the stuff they play on there is even just a little too stupid for me. you know and it's like, how do people find this funny? Because this is not funny. And I'll laugh at anything. you know
You laugh at
so
us all the time, so yeah,
right,
clearly.
so
Yeah, it's different.
it is. So it's good to have a another channel like that that's actually the classic cartoons.
Hmm.
um I've been watching. Tiffany's gone back to work, so I've had the baby now too. So I've been watching that with her, and it's like, this is so awesome because this is like my Saturday mornings, and now I can watch it with my grandbaby. So that's pretty
Hmm.
cool.
Well, I've gotten to introduce my kid to some stuff too that through it.
Mhm.
So,
I I guess it hasn't been out for very long.
um, probably not quite a year yet. I want to say it
Okay.
was late last year. And I probably saw it some before you did because I'm an antenna boy.
Okay.
I get it via antenna rather than on cable.
See, and I think what I saw is it's new to DirectTV
Right.
because now, like I said, it's old. They've got it up there with like Cartoon Network, the whole kids block. It's up
Hmm.
there with it now. So
Cool.
that's cool because they added quite a bit of stuff. Um, like there's a one channel that plays nothing but anger management. Why? I don't
Really
know.
weird.
Yeah. And it doesn't really have commercials. It has like cuts for commercials, but there's no commercials there. But there's a lot of channels that they've added that is like that. There's a Bob Ross channel. There's I think that's the only ones I liked.
Right.
So I think maybe when I saw that was added, they may have added it then, but since I have ADD, I can't leave all of the channels in the guide. I can only do what I watch.
Sure.
If not, I'll flip all night
Well,
long.
there's hundreds of them, right? So you
Yeah,
can't. You got to kind of focus on the important ones,
yeah. So
which makes it harder to discover things. But
yeah, but I had just by chance had turned it over to kids to filter just the kids stuff, and it was like, wait a minute, Hanna-Barbera hour. That's been a few years, What is that
mhm.
doing on TV? So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So
Yep,
little
agreed.
light at the end of the rainbow,
Hmm.
Speaking about cartoons, I just learned this here in the last week or so. Y'all remember the cartoon Two Stupid Dogs?
Mhm.
Yep.
Do you know who voiced the big dog?
I probably did at some point, but I don't remember.
I do know, but I don't know.
Les, do you know?
He has ties to SpongeBob, doesn't he?
Probably. I would have to go back and check that. Let me... Les, do you know?
No.
Brad Garrett.
Ah, I can hear that now. Yeah.
I
Pretty
just
cool.
I saw a video on YouTube. He was doing an interview and the person was just called out. He's done a lot of voice acting,
Mhm.
and they were just
Yeah.
and she just started calling out names and all that, and he started kind of doing the voices. And I was like, oh wow, I did not know that. Did not know he did Big Dog.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just wanted to share that little bit of nugget.
Cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And then haven't we talked about Shaun the Sheep on this on the podcast before?
In passing, I think we have because we've covered Wallace and Gromit movies
Okay.
before. We did one at least. We did one for Halloween month, for horror
Yeah.
month.
Well, we also have a channel called the Baby First channel, which has a lot of like Jim Henson's like older baby stuff, like the animal word party and that kind of stuff. So I like watching that. But there's this little sheep that comes on, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and it's like, why the hell does that sheep look like Shaun the Sheep? You know, that's a ripoff, And he's eh, they kind of mix him in with the baby channel. There's not like 30-minute blocks of anything. It's just kind of random stuff all the time. So
Mhm.
he's kind of mixed out pretty frequently during the day and stuff. So every time I see this, it's like, God, why does he look like Shaun the Sheep? So I pull it up, and sure enough, baby absolutely loves him. Anytime his theme song comes on, boy, she'll kick those feet and she starts smiling. She's only 7 weeks old. So it's like, wow. But I look it up, and sure enough, he is the baby sheep off of Shaun the Sheep.
Oh, cool.
Like that's why, because then like his mom comes and picks him up from school, and it was like, her. I know her. I have seen this, but I've never seen this. So it is kind of cool that, there's another thing that's made it back into the new generation,
Yep.
But it's crazy. You can't buy a Timmy the sheep. You have to buy a Shaun the sheep. So,
Well, on this side
mm,
of the pond, anyway.
yeah, true.
Who knows what you can get in the UK?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I should hit some of my friends up and say, hey,
It's a thought.
Timmy, not the South Park Timmy.
Ouch.
Nope, that's about it.
Okay. Mikey.
Cool. Well, what I've got is not nearly that lighthearted.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's much darker. I finally got around to watching Nosferatu.
Oh.
Latest version?
Huh?
The latest version?
Yeah, the new one, the one
Okay.
from last year. And nutshell version, it's really good.
You enjoyed it.
It's really good. It's a very layered thing, because obviously it's based, I can't say super accurately, but it's based pretty well on a 100-year-old movie. So black and white, no sound sort of thing, silent picture. And it does a really interesting job of capturing that sentiment a lot of the time. Not 100% of the time, but like the scenes with when Hutter is traveling at the beginning to go meet Orlok, with the paperwork, it's very reminiscent of a silent film. There's noise, obviously, there's sound. I would completely more. I don't know if there is a soundtrack available for this movie. It would be very interesting because there's music in this movie, but not that much. Most of the sound in this movie is just that. It's just sounds. Some of it is probably performed on musical instruments. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. It is an interesting exercise in adding a level of noise to kind of to that silent film experience. It doesn't have sound like a normal modern film would. It's actually a very cool effect. I really kind of thought that was very well done. And the use of color was also very pointed. There are times when there's just no color on the screen at all. And then, obviously, when they're walking through the town, the regular town where there's regular people and regular things happening, it's still not a super bright, colorful movie, but there are colors. It's clearly a town that's intended to be it's kind of pre-industrial town. It's a port. It's a shipping town. So there's tall buildings that are probably warehouses around, blocked out a lot, and so it's shady and kind of gray. Except when it doesn't need to be, like when there are times when they're like looking out a window. It's a colorful, normal looking day, and it's the contrast is really nice. It's well done. It's beautifully shot. And I won't go into too much detail, but what they did with Orlok is, I thought it was a really good idea. I thought it was really handled, because he doesn't look anything like Orlok in the 22 version. in the 1922 version. I have to be specific because it's more than 100 years ago now, but it's very cool. And it's honestly, I'm probably biased, but I think it's the kind of movie that you don't need to be familiar with the original to appreciate. I think it would still be good even if you didn't know the original. But knowing the original adds so many layers to it.
Hmm.
Definite thumbs up. And it's on Prime now.
Good movies coming out.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
I need some more time off.
Uh-huh. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Seems she just took 6 weeks off,
Right.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Me too.
I highly recommend it.
So
I mean, I recommend it.
Johnny Depp's daughter can act.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
she
To
did.
put it bluntly, yes.
Cool. I don't think I've seen her in anything other than maybe a Kevin Smith movie here or there, where it's not real big parts or anything, you know?
Hmm.
Hmm,
Yeah, I
that's
think
cool.
she was actually a good choice. She was not the original choice for the role, but I think she did really well with it.
Cool.
And it's hard to argue with Willem Dafoe. He's not even really in it all that much. I mean, when he's in it, but he doesn't show up halfway. But he's really good. Honestly, the guy who played Hutter, the agent, blanking on his name. What's his name? Nicholas Holt. He was also really good, and he's in it a lot more. It's a very dark story. It's got a very dark ending.
They
So,
stick pretty good to the original, or
okay, see, that's tricky. They stick to the basic story of the 1922 film Nosferatu.
Mhm.
What makes it tricky is that was kind of a loose adaptation of Dracula,
right?
to the point where Stoker's estate sued them and successfully got them to basically destroy the film.
I didn't know that
Um,
part.
Nosferatu was lost for a long time,
Mhm.
until a version that was missed in the sweep was found. I want to say in the 50s or something like that, and it was preserved at that point because Stoker Estate had stopped being a factor at that point, basically because Universal owned that at that point, as far as I know, at least controlled it well enough to keep the film alive. And so there was a big resurgence of it in like the 60s and early 70s, and then there was the terrible remake in 79 that the less said the better on that one. That,
Loskitsky.
yeah, that was not well done. That
No.
and Eggers didn't, he made a point of avoiding that with this movie and you can tell because this is just so much better. But yeah, so and the deal is that the one thing that Eggers did, and I don't want to spoil too much, but he actually, part of what he did, the reason I say it's loosely based on the 22 film is because he went back to Dracula and pulled some elements from that back into his version, which makes it which adds a layer of familiarity to it. It's I feel like I'm selling it short by saying it looks like Dracula, but it's still Nosferatu. It's still a kind of different. It's a similar story, but it's a different story.
Yeah.
And there's sort of enough Dracula sucked back into it to make it feel better, I guess.
I see
To
what you
make
did there.
I did too.
I don't know if I did it on purpose or not, but yeah, and it just works really well.
You talked about it sucking back elements from.
Oh, suck! I didn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that I did that. I'm sure some part of my self-conscious or subconscious did, but wasn't me. It was the brain weasels. We'll blame them.
I didn't realize Nicholas Hoult was in this.
Yeah.
Hey, he's in theaters right now.
Yep.
In a very, very successful movie
Cool.
called
Good for him.
Superman.
Mm.
Cool.
He
Good for
he's
him.
he's playing Luthor.
Oh, is that him?
That is him.
I remember seeing Luthor and thinking, "Wow, that guy looks familiar." And no, he looks different in Nosferatu. I mean, clearly his head's probably shaved
Yeah.
in Superman, and he's very different costuming and all that, and a much different lighting, to put it mildly. But like I said, it's dark.
He also played Hank McCoy in the X-Men films,
Yeah,
the First Class and all that,
First Class.
all those. Yep. Which I thought he did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The one or two that I saw, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've only seen a couple. First Class and then Days of Future Past are the only ones I've seen.
I may have only seen the first one now that I'm thinking about it.
So.
But yeah, that's what I got.
Cool. Okay, Les.
For me, I've probably got very little. I did go see Superman. I highly recommend it. It's a good story. Luckily, they don't go back and tell you the origin. So,
Again.
again. So, it's a lot more solid than those that have been in the past. The cast is pretty damn good. Nicholas Hoult, yes. He got paid the most.
Yes.
He got paid $2 million to play Lex Luthor. Everybody else got around 7,500. So he was the main star. Now that's not to say they didn't have other fine actors. Bradley Cooper is in it.
Yeah, that's been spoiled for me. But yeah.
Spoiler there, but
Yeah.
he plays a part that is really strong. Although he's not on camera all that much.
Okay. I gotta ask. Nathan, how was he?
Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Oh, he was Guy Gardner.
Yes.
He was Guy Gardner.
Cool.
He pulled it off. I thought you may be ready to ask me about Will Reeve, Christopher Reeve's son.
Oh, yeah. I knew he had a bit part in it. Or I had heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool too.
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
I figured Nathan was having such a great time with that role. From what I had read, the studio wanted to have Guy have a different haircut, and he fought to have a comic accurate haircut for Guy.
Good.
I'd say that's probably true because
Yeah.
he just felt the part, and the idea that DC had for this movie I thought was damn good, and that is, let's give you a lot of different characters to see in this movie. That way we can have them appear in other movies. I thought that was
Go ahead. Sorry.
I thought that was a really good idea because you got Metamorpho, you got Peacemaker,
Mr. Terrific. Yep.
Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, so many that could go on to do other films. So, yeah, I was taken aback at times.
That was one of the concerns I had heard about it, was there were so many characters that it may actually overshadow Superman. I was like, I don't know about that, but we'll see. So,
Right. Benefit of the doubt and all that.
yeah. Well, since we got 2 members of the Terrifics in this film, I wonder if we're going to get a Terrifics film at some point. I would love to see that.
I would say yes. It's a possibility. And I also want to tell everybody that should you go see it, be sure to stay through till the final, because they have 2, count them, 2 clips. One that's mid credits, and the other that is at the end.
Yeah.
Cool.
So does Thunderbolts.
Bonus material.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
For me.
Okay. Well, for me, I took in a couple of movies. I finally saw X, and I know Mike and Les are not going to be. They're not big fans of the franchise, and I get that. Because I know y'all really had an issue with the ending of the first film. But I was pleasantly surprised with this film. They did something I never expected them to do. They turned Jigsaw into an anti-hero. Because the whole premise, this takes place between the first and second film. He finds out there's a clinic or hospital or whatever you want to call it, who have been doing wonders for people who are suffering from cancer. And of course, John has a brain tumor. So he reads up about it and then goes down there, and it sounds like, oh, this is perfect. This will work. For only $250,000. That's okay. So what the deal is there's a surgery, and then there's a concoction of drugs and all that they have to take it in. It's a miracle worker. Well, as you guess, he finds out it's a total fucking scam. So he captures everybody and puts them in a trap.
Oops.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in the trailer, there's a line that said by a particular person. It's like, of all the people you want to fuck with, you want to do John Kramer? It's like, yeah, that was the wrong thing to do. Of course, there are violent traps, or gory traps, but the story just was so well written. It was so well written, and like I said, they did the unbelievable. Actually, You actually cheer for him because he's getting revenge. And everybody loves a good revenge story.
Cool.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, I've been pleased because I like the first 7 films. 8, which is Jigsaw, I've only seen once. I didn't care for. I have no intention of watching Spiral. I don't know.
Just no, huh?
No, just no. But this was really good. I really enjoyed it, and there's talk about doing another one. I'm like, you know, I know it did well, but y'all are running out of kind of timelines that could be sticking these things in and actually have Tobin Bell star in it without
Yeah.
without blowing what credibility you have, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's a perfect place to just end it, and let's just move on to something else or reboot it since now Blumhouse owns part of it, or part owner of it. Just restart it, which is what they always do.
Right.
So, did see Thunderbolts, and all I can say is, wow. I loved this movie. There's a different vibe with this one. There can be kind of a sameness with the superhero films. They kind of have the similar beats, and of course, the third act always has to be the big, humongous. It's going to be the end of the world unless our heroes succeed type of fight. But this is so different. So different. I liked it. It was like a breath of fresh air to me. The writing's really good. Yes, there's a lot of humor in it, but it felt natural. Everybody was really good in it. I mean, the main focus is Yelena, Florence Pugh's character, as the new Black Widow, more or less. She's great in it. Yeah, and there's 2 credit scenes. There's a mid credit, and then there's a post credit, and it is a scene. This one actually takes. There was actually probably about 5 minutes instead of the normal 1 or 2 minute type thing. But yeah, I'm sorry it's not done as well financially, but I really hadn't heard any complaints about the film. There was a lot of people who enjoyed this film, so definitely check it out if you have the opportunity. And it's now on Prime. It's going to be on Disney Plus, I think, at the end of this month, if I read that correctly. It's the end of July, so yeah. It still blows my mind that these movies are getting on demand and streaming literally 2 months after it was in theaters. It blows my mind now.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, back in the days of VHS and DVDs, it would be at least 6 months before you even got it.
Mm-hmm.
6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And it just,
Times have changed.
yeah, well, I guess you got to strike when the iron's hot. I mean, that kind of makes sense, but
Yep. Cool.
yeah.
Glad it's good.
So yeah, I'm ready for Superman, and I'm ready for Fantastic Four, and things could be looking really good for the superhero films now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard nothing but good things about Superman, and obviously Les enjoyed it. Thunderbolts was really good. I have high hopes for Fantastic Four. If that one is just as good as these others, man, that's a nice little starter of a trend.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
So,
Fantastic Four needs a win anyway. But
yeah, I think so. Alrighty. On that note, let's take our first break, and then we'll get into this week's discussion. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and get into this week's topic. Did everybody do their research, their homework?
Yep.
Sure. I had everybody read the story, The Death of Jean DeWolff, which is a Spider-Man story, which I think is probably, if it's not the best, it's like 1A. Because I know a lot of people talk about Craven's Last Hunt being the ultimate Spider-Man story. I think this is right up there with it. This is a story that introduces the Senate Eater. I remember reading this when it first came out. I was reading Spider-Man at the time, and those who don't know, Jean DeWolff was she a detective? I was trying to remember right now off the top of my head.
Yes, she
Okay.
was.
She was. Yep.
But she was the only one of the police force that actually would have anything to do with Spider-Man. She more or less was his Commissioner Gordon, the ally. So I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed her spunk, her attitude. She was I liked the character. So when they actually killed her off, it really pissed me off. It really did. But it's such a good story. So let's talk a little about this. So what are your thoughts, guys?
Was she ever brought back?
No.
No.
Nope.
With comics, you never know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a valid question, but
So I
yeah.
had to
Right.
ask.
Absolutely.
I thought this was kind of neat. I liked the whole Sin Eater concept kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of wondered how you'd feel about this. But when I got into it, I'm like, this could go one of two ways. Um, but yeah, it's. I mean, I was not a follower of Spider-Man back in the day, or kind of ever really. I mean, he's fine. I like him just fine. And I've seen some of the movies they've done, and I have read some Spider-Man comics, but I like that this was essentially street level comics. This is a street level story. I mean, this is
Yeah.
about
Revenge.
it's about Spider-Man, and it's about a bunch of cops, and just I mean the crowd, honestly, the street level mob crowd is kind of a character in this. And I think that's interesting to me because it's different than what we're used to today. I mean, because we're 40 years on from this type of
Yep.
story, and everything has just gotten bigger and bolder and more massive and more threatening. Essentially, in a way, culminating with Avengers Endgame. Not that. It's just a very different kind of story from that. This is. I don't want to say this harkens back to when comics were about people and not about gods and monsters, but I mean, it is a revenge story, and it's also a story about grief and about
Hmm.
um, relationships and about trust and about mob mentality to a certain degree. And we get a fun cameo from Daredevil,
Yeah.
which is actually more than a cameo. I'm not doing it justice. He's in this quite a bit,
Hmm.
and he's kind of an important part of this story, without being a super direct part of the story. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It sort of tugs at the heartstrings in a way because it's dealing with real people problems and things that real people deal with.
Hmm.
And I swear I could slap Peter Parker. I could have slapped him multiple times in this, just because of some of the shit that he says and some of the things he's reacting to. It's just like, fuck is wrong with you, dude? Come on.
Yeah.
But it's all of that because they're portraying him as a human being,
Yeah.
which is a nice change of pace, really.
He's hurting.
Yeah.
Right.
A
It's
grieving human.
it's
Yeah.
it's the grief process. You're kind of watching his grief process,
Yeah.
and he's not handling it all that well, which is very standard Marvel. If not in that time frame, then up to that point. That was Marvel's thing for a while, is they were the human superheroes. So it's kind of cool to see this like prime example of that in print.
Yeah.
Thomas, would you consider this more effective than uh, the death of Gwen Stacy?
More effective?
Well, was it more heartstrings than Gwen Stacy's death was? Mike was saying this was a
Are you asking about me personally?
yeah.
Uh, I would have to say yes because, you know, they had killed her off when I was really young. They killed off Gwen really young, when I was really young. So when I started reading Spider-Man comics, she's not even mentioned. It's Mary Jane and then whoever else they, throw by Peter's side or whatever.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't a lot of. I can't think of any in his circle that they had killed off between that particular time. There may have been, and I'm just not thinking of it right now. So
And so you kind of didn't have the connection with Gwen
right
that you did with Jean.
with Jean, yeah.
Okay.
And there's also the whole thing of like I said earlier, the police force don't really trust him because they're going off of what they're Jameson's been feeding down their throat, and they see the end results of what he's been doing, battling bad guys and all that, but they don't
He's
tend to
still just
see
a
him.
nut job in a mask.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
A la Batman to an
Yeah.
extent. Not to that extreme, but same idea.
So here's his one ally, a person who he got close to. He didn't have any romantic feelings. We kind of found out that she may had some for him in the story, but it just,
It wasn't a main factor.
yeah, it wasn't the main factor. It was just them combining forces to do the right thing, to
All right, working together
working together.
from different sides of the law.
Yeah. Like I said, I liked her attitude. I liked her spunk. It was different.
Yeah.
I mean, I used the comparison of the Gordon, but she's the anti-Gordon. He's, pretty much on the level and almost boring if you think about it, where she wasn't. I mean, I never really thought of Gordon as a boring character, but if you think about it, so
Yeah, it was interesting coming at this from the direction of someone who wasn't familiar with the character at all.
yeah,
So I learned what I know basically from this.
Mhm.
I mean, I looked her up for a few minutes afterwards just to see, because
right.
my initial thought was, did they create this character just for her to be dead in this in this story? And it turns out no, they did not.
No, she had been around for a while. I don't remember how long, but
About 10 years.
yeah,
They
sounds about right.
introduced her in like 76. But yeah, so it was interesting. This is also one of Peter David's first stories with Marvel.
Right. Hence why it's so strong.
I was gonna say, dude can write. Jeez.
Mm. R.I.P.
Yep, very sad. Because that was recently.
Yep. So, what was your thoughts, Les?
That was a strong story. And yeah, they twisted it enough to make it very interesting. And that's the main thing I pulled from it, was the interesting part. Otherwise, you can't have a story. David went on to do the X-Men and so many other titles, not only for Marvel, but for DC and for Independence. So it was fun to sit and see where he was going with some of this stuff. And personally, I thought he did all of it very well. This was a little bit of a difference to some of Marvel's thinking, which was a good idea. Otherwise, you would have the Marvel zombies out there all the time. This twisted enough that it was entertaining and fulfilling as far as the story goes. That's about what I got on it.
I was thinking about you asking if they had brought her back. And I thought, well, that would bringing her back would have just kind of cheapened the whole thing. But hell, they've brought back several different versions of Gwen. I mean, they brought her back again, and now she's supposed to be a villain. I don't know. I hadn't
Surprised they
followed.
haven't brought back Uncle Ben.
They've done alternate timelines with him,
Yeah,
but
they've done what if type stories with him.
or alternate dimensions or something, something like that. But they have not actually brought him back, surprisingly.
That would be bad.
Be something, all right.
But yeah, and I thought that the concept of Sin Eater was I mean, to call it interesting is rough, because I mean he's essentially a serial killer, but I
Yeah.
mean, as like I said, as street level bad guys go, it's not the kind of thing that Spider-Man was used to dealing with, I don't think. I mean, he didn't how often did he deal with like I said, I'm not super familiar with him. How often did he deal with serial killers in his usual antics?
Serial killers, no.
Right. And I mean, that's basically what this guy was. Um,
Unless you're talking about a level of like Green Goblin or something like that, which is totally different.
yeah, that's a different level for sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this guy is just out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got an agenda. He's targeting specific types of people. He's targeting specific people. Um, and spoiler alert for a 40-year-old story, he's kind of one of them too. So yeah, it seemed even as I'm reading it, it seemed like a departure. It seemed like this is what he was used to dealing with. Um, and they did I thought they did an interesting job with Sin Eater's story of kind of not telegraphing it. They didn't. I mean, it was an interesting like surprise thing when they finally figured out who this guy was. I mean, the whole Shield agent thing when that came out, we're like, oh, and then they talk about the other stuff that I won't go too far into. That like, ooh, interesting ties to other things in the Marvel universe, but yeah. Still didn't entirely explain everything though, which is where you kind of get the serial killer flavor from. If it was just this guy reacting to something, to the thing that was done to him, it wouldn't be the same. But it seemed like it was more than that, making it even more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Anytime they feel justified.
Right. Which then made the follow-up issues all the more interesting too. Was there a delay in those? Because I saw in here that this was a 4-issue. The initial story was a 4-issue story.
Oh God.
But the thing you gave us was 6 issues.
Yeah.
And I didn't think to look at what the issue numbers were, and what I'm looking, the wiki page that I'm looking at doesn't mention it.
I don't remember a delay, but
Oh,
God, that was so long ago.
There it was. Yeah, it was a couple of years. It was 88, so it was a couple of years later. I just found it.
Okay.
Which is cool. The fact that he went back to it. Sort of a sequel, but I don't know.
More like a follow-up.
Almost, yeah, almost just like a follow-up type. Like, whatever happened to this case? Oh, well, let's take a look.
Well, definitely worth a recommendation.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. Very good stuff.
Okay, well, any final thoughts? We'll just go ahead and move on.
Yeah, if you can track this down, grab it, because like I said, it's not it's a little more intense than your everyday Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in all the right ways.
Yeah. Okay, on that note, we're going to take another break, and we'll be back with Geek News for You. We are back, and it's time for Geek News for You. In this segment, we bring a couple of news articles to the table for discussion. This week it's Mike and myself. And Mikey, would you go first, please, sir?
Oh, sure. I'm going with the science corner this week.
Woohoo!
Because it seems like the big news for this week is Superman, and I wasn't sure whether you were going to bring that one up or not, so I went with science,
Okay.
just in case.
Science.
Science. So my article gives some details on the a joint effort between the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, which, yeah, no kidding, right? Hell of a moniker. They pretty much just use the abbreviation for it, which is I'll pronounce it LIGO because I'm not sure how else to pronounce it. Their collaboration is with a similar outfit in Italy and another one in Japan. And what this essentially is an observatory. It's an astronomical observatory which measures gravitational waves. And what they have essentially, this article is basically announcing kind of the finale of a black hole merger that's been going on for like 2 years, making the biggest black hole that we have seen so far, at least the biggest black hole merger that they have detected so far, since they've been operating for like 10 years now. They've been going since 2015 at least. And so this has created a black hole which they measure these things in solar masses. This one is 225 solar, which is, I mean, unless I'm misreading this, it's a black hole that is 225 times the mass of our sun. This is the biggest. This is the biggest merger that they have measured to date. They had one a little ways back that was 140, and most of them are kind of in that 100 to 140. But this is the biggest one they found so far.
What'd you say it was? How big?
225 solar masses.
Wow.
Yeah, so cool stuff going on in science.
Pretty cool.
At some point, I mean, I don't pay as much attention to this sort of thing but I am curious. Given some of the stuff I've heard over the years, I am curious to figure out to see them figure out more about what a black hole is and how it works.
Yeah.
And what all is out there, because hell, why not?
Right.
Shit's weird on this planet. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. You know?
Gotta be more interesting, right?
Oh God, please. I hope so. Jeez. But yeah, the idea, and to me, the idea, I had no idea that was one way to measure this sort of thing. Just straight up through gravitational waves.
I didn't either.
That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always have to be in the light spectrum. We get too hung up on that just because that's what we can see. Well, screw that. We're going to learn more by finding other ways to see things. You know?
Yep.
Some fun
Most
sciencey
interesting.
stuff.
Okay. In solar masses.
Solar masses.
What would that be? It will be the equivalent in blob formations.
Now, don't confuse your nebulas. That would be a mistake.
Well, I mean, we are talking about black holes, so blob formations into black holes, So
Did you guys see? I think it was in Lake Erie. There was this black stuff on the bottom of these boats that were coming in. So they went ahead and they scraped some off and did testing on it, and it had DNA. How wild is that? and it's just like this black, like, ooze.
The idea that we're finding new life forms on Earth. Yeah,
Yeah,
wild. In a
right.
form that we're not used to seeing.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
But it just made me instantly think of the blobs.
The
It's
blob,
like,
right.
don't touch it! Don't touch it!
Sure.
Leave it alone.
Or the end of
Sure
Time
should.
Bandits.
It doesn't grow unless you feed it.
I know. Get the fire extinguishers out. We got to deal with that.
Oh,
Creeps and leaps and
calling Steve McQueen.
Where the hell is Steve McQueen when you need him? Shit, come on.
Ah.
Eat your shit. Poor Jordy.
Uh,
For those that don't get it, it's a creep show reference.
Mhm.
mhm.
The Lonesome Death. Alrighty. I guess it's my turn. On July 9th, so just a few days ago from recording, the corner of Essex Street and Delancey Street were renamed Jack Kirby Way and Yancey Street. Jack Kirby grew up on Essex Street, and Delancey Street was the inspiration for Yancey Street in the Fantastic Four comics.
Oh, cool.
yeah.
It's cool.
So, I don't think this is a permanent change. I know Yancey Street's not going to be a permanent change, but I don't know about Jack Kirby staying as a name of I believe it was Essex. I don't know if that's permanent or not. I've looked a couple of places and I've seen conflicting information, so I don't know. It may have been just a ceremony to promote the Fantastic Four movie, which is coming up here in a couple of weeks.
I was just about to ask, and I was going to preface it by saying, am I being cynical, or is this really
Yeah, it's just all promotion.
I mean, okay. I'm fine with it. Them doing that. Please promote the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
Fantastic Four movies have not always had the best promotion. And honestly, they haven't always had the best writing and filmmaking either. But I'm happy to see them actually putting some effort into getting people ready for this movie.
Yep. So, alrighty. Any special shout outs or mentions this week?
No, don't think so.
No.
Not here.
Okay. We'll move on to our regular shout outs. First off, we want to thank Pop Culture for allowing us to be part of a great little podcast network. We definitely want you to check them out. There will be a link in the show notes. I also want you to check out the fine people who promote the fellowship on Twitter. They're known as Potter Family. The best way to do that is do a search, #Potter Family, one word. Check out all the listings, and if something catches your eye, by all means, go check them out. Thank you guys, as always. Want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying the music for our podcast. In our show notes, there will be a link where you can check out some of their other pieces of work. And you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We value your feedback. If you want to email us, our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Or you can go to the website, go to the About Us page, and there's a contact form you can fill out. We do have a Discord that you can join. I don't think we mentioned it this week. We normally do somehow. But we do have a Discord that you can join. We do have a section specifically for feedback. in our Discord, we post a lot of news items, stuff for discussion, stuff to laugh at, trailers, music, and we'll usually have some kind of event like a movie night or some such. So sign up for Discord is free. They're all it's in the app stores. We do have an open invite on our homepage. So if you want to come hang out with us, that's the best way to do that. Social media, we're on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks. On Instagram, Twitter, and Bluesky, we're at Fellowship Geeks. If you want to join our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found at Mikey Geek. Liz can be found at LN_Geek. Les may or may not be found at Fake Les Webster. And I can be found at TomTC Geek. And for wherever you download our episodes, if you'd be so kind as to rate and review the show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate the support as always. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,